At first glance, this HTC One looks just like every other one you've seen to date, but upon further inspection, and yeah, I'm going to bring it closer so you can see, it's got stock Android. I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com, and this is PhoneDog's full video review of the HTC One Google Play Edition. It looks like an HTC One, but when you flip it around, you realize it's running a stock version of Android. This is the Google Play Edition version of the HTC One. It's available now through the Google Store for $599. Not available in any carrier stores, so I should point that out. You have to buy it through Google. Before we get too far into talking about all that Android goodness, special thanks to our partners at Best Buy Mobile. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. They'll get your email, your web, your contacts, your anything set up. So when you walk out the door, your widgets are working. All that stuff's good to go. You can focus on eating a good dinner or having an enjoyable weekend thanks to Best Buy Mobile. So loading this up, you can see obviously very different from the Sense 5 version that HTC sells and what's available at AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and coming very soon, Verizon Wireless. It looks very different. Stock Android here. The design is the same. No differences there. Volume rocker on the right side, micro SIM card slot over here on the top left, power button, 3.5mm headphone jack. Everything's kind of run-of-the-mill here. Micro USB charging port at the bottom. The difference is exclusively in the software, and while you may think it's just an Android, different version of Android, I should say, there are a lot of differences between the two, some which you may not think about right out of the gate. So obviously design the same, speakers up top, and actually I should point out this is not a Nexus device. Both of these, with Samsung and with HTC, the software versions have been slightly modified by the manufacturers. As you can see here, for example, Beats Audio enabled over on the HTC One. So it's not a stock, completely stock version of Android 4.2. It's a near stock version, and keep in mind that when updates do come out, those will be released by the OEM, so HTC and Samsung, not by Google, as is the case with the Nexus 4. So keep that in mind. It'll still get updates faster than the carrier branded and then the Sense 5 laden HTC One or the TouchWiz laden Samsung Galaxy S4. That said, you keep in mind software is not going to be as fast as the Nexus 4. But let's take a quick look here. You can see Google stuff out of the box. No carrier installed bloatware. No HTC stuff here. All you get out of the box, with the exception, I guess, of that Beats Audio checkmark, all you get is the Google stuff. Google Plus integration, Google Plus Messenger, Play Movies and TV, Play Music, and then a couple of apps that I've installed in my testing. So obviously a clean build of Android here. You can see it runs just like Android 4.2. I can use my notification area where I can take both my fingers and swipe down and access these quick settings as well. I can go into settings. Really fast, really fluid here. What you miss out on this one versus the Sense 5 version, a couple of things. One, HTC Zoe, which is a capability in the camera. You have a 4 ultra pixel camera here, and there is a new version, I should point out, as you can see right here, of the camera user interface. It's clean, it's fast, no real issues with it whatsoever. It's a little bit hard to operate for somebody that hasn't worked with stock Android. That said, it's pretty easy to use once you get a hang of it, and you got your options down here with Photosphere and Panorama and video and camera as well. Take pictures, and much like Windows Phone 8, I can live toggle between my pictures that I've already taken. As you can see right here, here's a sample shot with my San Francisco flag and Texas thing on the wall, and the green screen as well. So pictures are still clean. That said, I miss the HTC Zoe feature I use on a pretty regular basis on the HTC One, where you can snap a bunch of pictures, and Zoes, which are 3-second video snippets, you can bring them all together into an event and it'll custom make a video for you. You're also missing out on HTC BlinkFeed here as well. You can hide it, you can't disable it in Sense 5, but you don't get it at all over here. Another thing to point out is the IR blaster. You have the power button, which doubles up as an IR blaster, so there's that TV capability on the Sense 5 version of the HTC One. You do not get use of that out of the box with the stock Android version. Now, this was a big thing a long time ago when skins were slow and clunky and stock Android was dramatically faster. I'll be totally honest with you, and this will lead me right into Quadrant Standard. I haven't seen any speed differences between this device and a Sense 5 HTC One. They're both incredibly fast, no lag whatsoever on either one. They move through with ease. I'm telling you, honestly, in today's day and time, with Sense 5 at least, it's optimized well to work with Android. I haven't had any issues with either one. So to me, the value adds of the software that Sense 5 offer are more to me, or worth more to me than that. So keep in mind, obviously it depends on what you use your device for, but something to play as you play that pros and cons game in your mind, something to keep in mind. So Quadrant Standard loading up right here. We'll take a look at final speed numbers. Battery life is an interesting one. It's got a 2,300 milliamp hour battery, and HTC has made a huge point with Sense 5 to say that they've worked on the battery. It's been optimized because when you look at it, it is a smaller battery than, say, the Note 2 or the Optimus G Pro or the Galaxy S4, but HTC has been key in working with battery life and trying to optimize the software to make it better. Not sure, I should say 10,050 on Quadrant Standard. I've used this for a couple of days and battery life seems to be pretty decent. I haven't done any formal numbers, so we'll hold off for a little bit on those. But that said, I'm finding battery to be a little bit less on this device than I see on the Sense 5 version. I think it's because of the software optimizations that HTC includes in Sense 5. They've worked hard to preserve that battery life and make sure that it lasts as long as possible, and you see that over on the Sense 5 version. So there's just a lot you miss out on. Let's run up speed tests as well and take a look. Obviously running LTE, as you can see right here on AT&T. It runs LTE on T-Mobile as well, though keep in mind this does not have the AWS band. So for HSPA Plus running in the 1700 megahertz spectrum, you're going to be out of luck if you lose LTE coverage. So just keep that in mind as you're working with it and you're considering whether to buy it if you're on T-Mobile or not. It's a speed test. Make sure we're on a good server. I do agree. Dallas, Texas, and we'll begin, actually I'm going to change that to megabits per second. We'll begin the test and you can see what it looks like. So loading up right now, AT&T 4G LTE, usually much faster than the Dallas Metroplex, getting about 13 megabits per second on the download, and then on the upload should get somewhere between, let's say, 7 and 10 megabits per second is the general rule around my office. So 14.52 megabits per second on the download, 8.92 megabits per second on the upload, so still very fast all around. You'll notice as well that it just says LTE up top. It does not show AT&T's or T-Mobile's 4G LTE logos that have been kind of customized for them, so you don't get that little AT&T or T-Mobile snippet out of it. So we'll load up messaging here as well just to show you what it looks like and kind of give you a brief overview. This is a demo phone number that I have, so I can say, hey, and then it shows my picture. Obviously typical Android here, stock Android 4.2, no real changes. Google keyboard, and then you can hear the message coming in over on the other device. Portrait to landscape, fast. Really impressed with the speed of this device. That said, there's no noticeable speed difference that I see between this phone and the Sense 5 version of the HTC One, and I really want to hammer that home. PhoneDog.com here on the mobile version, using Chrome, very fast, usual stuff, usual animations, nothing really new here, but obviously this is running stock Android 4.2. It's a tough gamble for me. Honestly, I would always recommend the Sense 5 version unless you're somebody that enjoys the stock Android experience. I don't think this brings very much to the table. Sense 5 is a great UI that's running atop Android, a great UX, if you will. It's got some great features, Zoe, BlinkFeed. It's got the IR blaster up top for the TV application. Really, it's a well fleshed out user interface running atop of Android, and combined with the fact that you can get it on carriers starting at $199, I don't see any reason to pay $599 for this and get what's, in my opinion, a more pared back experience unless you just really enjoy the way stock Android looks and feels. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com. Can't talk today. For more on the stock Android HTC One Google Play Edition, I'm on Twitter at PhoneDog_Aaron, Facebook, Facebook.com/HiAaronBaker. Let me know what you think between the two. I always love to hear from you. And as always, I'll see you next time. Stay tuned for more on this exciting Google Play Edition version of the HTC One.